I want to bring in now New York Republican Congressman Pete King of the House Homeland Security Committee. Great to see you today. I want to start with this national security question, which you've heard the speaker talking about today, that this was a matter of national security. Have you had the opportunity to read the transcript?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. It's only 5 pages long, 5 written pages long of that portion of the conversation that you can highlight. You hear Rudy Giuliani's name probably mentioned more than anybody else's. So as you look at this, are you seeing that claim, that serious claim by Pelosi and others that this was a matter of national security?
No, there's nothing involving national security, and there's nothing that's even remotely impeachable. And you mentioned Rudy Giuliani's name. Rudy Giuliani's name was brought up by the president of Ukraine, not by President Trump.
Yes.
President Trump was talking about the investigation by the Justice Department into the genesis of the 2016 election investigation, which has nothing to do with the current situation. This is an investigation as to why the investigation, why the whole Mueller investigation, the FBI investigation started back in 2016. There was information leaked from the Ukraine against a candidate Trump at the time. There's also the whole issue of the hacking, which again had nothing to do with President Trump. That was 2016. Is in that answer to that question that the president of Ukraine brought up Rudy Giuliani's name. And then President Trump, that to me then prompted President Trump to talk about the allegations that have been made about Joe Biden. Now, to me, whether or not Joe Biden is going to be an opponent in the presidential campaign is almost secondary. If there's allegations about an American official who was possibly involved, the questions being raised about him and the issue of Ukrainian corruption, the president has an obligation to raise that issue. There's nothing wrong. And I have nothing against Joe Biden. Let me make that clear. But in his role as president, to me, it was a very legitimate question to ask.
All right.
I think the whole thing took about 2 minutes.
Right. So I just want to read this to everybody from the transcript as we know it. There's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general would be great, because he asked that he talk Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, talk with the AG, William Barr, and also Rudy Giuliani. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look into it, it sounds horrible to me. He definitely talks about Biden. You're saying that any public official, whether he's running for president against the current one or not, needed to have that looked into. I want to give you just the last couple seconds on that. We're going to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, this is a legitimate question being asked by the president. And again, he did not dwell on it other than those few sentences. I mean, that was not the beginning of the conversation or the end of the conversation. And it was the president of Ukraine that brought up Giuliani's name, and Giuliani was over there concerned about the Biden issue. And that, to me, is what prompted the president. And as far as the attorney general, to me, this was a flowing conversation. It started off with the attorney general looking into the 2016 allegations and then went on to Biden. And to me, the two came together. But again, looking at the full picture, the president never asked the Attorney General at all to get involved with the Joe Biden investigation, and also make it clear that the Trump administration gave military aid to Ukraine where President Obama never gave them anything.
All right, let's move on. Meanwhile, Washington Post columnist Mark Thiessen is going after what he calls the Democrats' double standard on all of this. Thiessen pointed to a CNN report in May that 3 Democratic senators wrote a letter to Ukraine's prosecutor general urging them not to close 4 investigations they said were critical to the Mueller probe. What is your response to that news today?
To me, it shows the total hypocrisy of the Democrats on this issue. They thought it was perfectly appropriate to intervene and, in effect, threaten the Ukrainian government when it came to helping the Mueller investigation, which would hurt President Trump. But now somehow it's wrong for the president to ask questions about Joe Biden. So, no, this to me shows the hypocrisy of the Democrats. You had very prominent, high-ranking Democratic senators, in effect, threatening the Ukrainian government if they didn't keep these investigations going open, keep them open to help the Mueller investigation. And that's wrong. The Mueller investigation obviously turned up nothing on the president involving Russia, but the Democrats couldn't let it go.
Congressman Peter King of the great state of New York, thank you for being on Overtime.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate it.